Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice in all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and I think I'll try to read a little bit of a absolutely amazing fan fiction work. I'm not sure how much more I'll do in the future of this. It is extremely long. Also, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. The author of this, well, all of this, it's actually his website. Again, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Stefan Gagne? I think that's I typed in Google how to pronounce this because it's Stefan Stefan and then Gagne Gagne, which that is not how I would have guessed to pronounce that. Almost 3 years ago, when I started this channel, in my description, I described a fan fiction work that was absolutely incredible. And yeah, actually found this guy on Twitter. So that's pretty cool. So obviously, I suggest checking him out on Twitter. Just type in I'll put it in the description. And I'll read more of this if you want, but of course I honestly recommend the greatest thing you can do is go to his website and read it for yourself. I'll type out the name of his website, plus I'll put a link. And I'll also copy everything in the description and, copy, paste, and put it in a comment. That way it's easier for everyone to find. But, yeah, I remember originally reading this on a different site that had, well, let's be honest, some erotic fan fictions as well, but none of these are erotic that I remember. I don't think. But they are great. I'm probably making him sound horrible. I'm sorry, great author. But yeah, Stefan Gagne, which, again, I think that's how your name's pronounced. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments how your name's actually pronounced. But the main thing I remember him for is he made a Slayers trilogy. And from the brief bit I saw of his website a second ago, I think he said 1998 is when he wrote this, which that's insane. I thought it was early 2000s when he wrote it. Heck, I was thinking, I don't remember what year I read this stuff. I think maybe 2008, maybe? So I thought maybe he had written it like maybe 2005, 2006. So he actually wrote like a whole decade earlier, but I'm going to double check on that. I'm going to be reading through this stuff a little bit. And I'm not a professional. Honestly, there's nothing on my channel that's professional. Part of me is considering the idea of trying to read some of his, some of the pages, what he wrote ahead of time, and then trying to go back through and maybe trying to voice act. But I don't think I have any skill at that. My main thing is I might read more of this for videos. My main thing is I just wanted to say he wrote a whole trilogy based off of the original 3 seasons of Slayers. It was a 1995 anime, if I remember right, that was based off Lena Inverse as the main character. Now, these animes were based off a light novel series by, the actual author who wrote the light novel series, which I don't remember who that is, but I actually have some of the original Slayers light novels out of arm's reach. But I showed those off in a video about a year ago or so. I actually have I think, season 1 on DVD. But there's also a bunch of movies that were made back then, and they also made 3 additional seasons, a season 4, 5, and 6, but it's not, chronological. There's like a Slayers R, and a Slayers R Evolution or Revolution or something. And there's another one where I think it's sort of a reboot, sort of. I mean, a lot of anime has been doing that, so I'm not even sure if the light novel of actual Slayers is still ongoing or not. But if anything, we'll consider this maybe a part 1 where I'm not sure if we're even gonna get into reading. It's just I'm just saying these novels are absolutely amazing, but you're better off reading them yourself rather than listening to me read them. And perhaps most of all, you should try to get a chance to read the original light novels, as well as to watch the Slayers movies and Slayers animes on. Sorry, I ran out of air. Drink a little Pepsi. But yeah, just all around absolute anime. Absolute amazing anime. And he, like, his main thing is the trilogy, where he does a continuation off of season 3, which is phenomenal. I remember the whole thing with, I think Paradox and, the butterfly people. Trying not to spoil things for people. The mirrors. Zelos having a lot more of a character being fleshed out. Lena meeting God. Let's see. I know the third book is the thing with order and the big throne and the shackles. And let's see. I think the first of those 3 novels is trying to find Silverquick's mirror, and the second one is trying to find the 8 original humans. And it talks like there's multiple Mazako wars and stuff like that, which, again, I'm not sure how much of his work is really based off of canon, but I remember being extremely impressed with it. Then there's either Dimerge or Demiurge, however you pronounce it, where it was also a continuation off of season 3, but it was more so Lena had settled down, got married to Guri, had a child, and it was a very different story, but it was also still very good. And there was Slayers Virtual, which is actually sort of retelling of the original season 1, Rezo the Red Priest and everything. But it's more like a cyberpunk, sort of sci-fi edge runners, cyberpunk edge runners sort of thing. Like, people are, I don't know how the best way to put it. Actually, it was a little bit deep dive stuff. Like, the magic is like hacking codes and stuff. So it's kind of like the whole deep dive stuff, like with Overlord and, Momonga, Ainzul Gone, a Sword Art Online. I should have struggled so much to remember how to say that. But I don't know if there were very many games. Heck, I don't even think the Doc Hack anime existed by then, let alone any of the Doc Hack games. I don't know. Stefan Gagne. Did you have any inspiration for the whole Slayers Virtual thing? Like, I can't think of anything that actually had deep dive where you other than Ghost in the Shell. That still reminds me I wound up seeing a Ghost in the Shell compendium book, and I'm I didn't buy it just because. Same way, there was a compendium book of the original Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Ultimanium. That was pretty cool. I do have Dermond, which is a collection of Evangelion full-page artworks, which is absolutely awesome. There's apparently a second book out there called Die Stern, but I have Dermond, which is awesome. Stefan Gagne, I could probably start suggesting random animes and video games for you. It's oh, someone's made a video where they're reading some author's amazing work, and you're starting off with hey, dear author, have you ever played this video game? But I'll say this. For the original NES, Dragon Spirit the New Legend, and Robo Warrior. Absolutely amazing games. They have incredible... It's 8-bit, but the music's incredible. And I could list 30 more NES games, but I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I've already rambled on for almost 10 minutes about, just whatever I think, rather than actually paying attention to what's on the screen. But the best game ever made for the original PlayStation Brave Fensu Musashi. And I would strongly suggest looking into the 5th Shining Force game, Shining Force EXA for the PS2. It was an incredible game. Honestly, I just think Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 5, or Shining Force EXA, are the only good Shining Force games. Heck, if you ever play games like Zero, the Kamikaze Squirrel, that's a game that's both on N64 and Sega Genesis. But yeah, I could keep going on. Of course, animes, I think. Great, now I'm like, hey, Stefan Gagne, I really loved what you did with Slayers. Here's other animes that you've probably never seen before that I'm going to suggest to you. 1, because I think they're awesome, and I think you would love watching them. And 2, because I want you to write fan fiction about them. First off is Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. It's absolutely incredible. I think it came out in the 90s. And the funny thing is it's actually sort of a reboot, sort of reimagining of the original Bubblegum Crisis, which I think came out in the 70s, maybe early 80s. But the one I want you to watch first is Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. Also, you probably have heard about, the Tenchi Muyo series. But of course, there's Tenchi Muyo, the original OVAs, Tenchi Universe, Tenchi Tokyo. There's 3 Tenchi Muyo movies. There's Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Oki. Then there's a continuation of Tenchi Muyo. Then there's Tenchi GXP. Then there's War in Geminar. There's AI Tenchi. And I think they will also continue out more beyond that. Which, they're all really cool. Heck, I think there's 3 movies at least I can think of, but the only movie that really comes to mind is Daughter of Darkness. Just because, I don't know, I think it had really good music. I don't know. Sorry. I'm like, hey, Stefan Gagne, rather than read your amazing artwork and stories, I'm going to suggest you things I want you to write fan fictions about. I'm just saying Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040 and Tenchi Muyo, amazing stories. I want fan fiction. It's like, I don't know if it's rude of me to ask. I'm just saying I really, really, really enjoy. I also remember, I remember the font and the backgrounds of the actual Slayer trilogy stuff being extremely immersive, though sometimes it was kind of hard to read. And it also had a lot of pictures with it, and I think so that's all around pretty awesome. Yeah, but I'll at least read this stuff here in a second. I don't know if I'll really get into actually reading the stories in this part. This is more so me just doing an introduction and me begging and pleading the author, Stefan Gagne, to please write fan fictions that, it's like, hey, here's an anime you've never watched. It's awesome. I think you'd love watching it. Also, could you write me a cool story about it? And yes, I assume you're thinking, wait, did you mention the video games for the same reason? Yes! Like I said, Brave Fensu Musashi, Shining Force EXA. Like I said, Brave Fensu Musashi, best game ever made for the original PlayStation. You can tell there was a whole lot of stuff they did not include in the game because of the PlayStation's limitations. Heck, when they originally released Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation, they thought it was going to light the PlayStations on fire because the way they had to set it up just to make it work, because the PlayStation wasn't strong enough to actually properly run Crash Bandicoot the way everyone thinks it should run. That's why they had to do stuff with the camera and its positioning. They actually thought there was a chance that the PlayStations would all catch on fire and it'd be a massive lawsuit. So it's like, yeah, there was a bit of a risk. But I'm glad they did, because I had really enjoyed playing Crash Bandicoot. Heck, I'll say this. I remember... Granted, I'll probably, in the future, play more of those games with my mom. But I'll say this. I love my mother very much, and I definitely enjoyed her sitting playing Robo Warrior, me playing Robo Warrior with her, and her just talking to me about stuff, and me talking to her about stuff. Just basically, I'm just saying, glad she cared. I'm glad she still cares. I love my mom very much. But, yeah, Stefan Gagne. One, not only would it be really fun for you to play or even, like, I don't know. Just saying the music for both those games is awesome. But I strongly suggest playing the video game Dragon Spirit the New Legend, as well as Robo Warrior. And then you could write a story about it. You could write a fan fiction based on the story of those games. Or say, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, or Vector Man, or Battle Kid Fortress of Peril, or Mountain of Torment. Battle Kid 1 and 2, obviously. Battle Kid 1, Fortress of Peril, Battle Kid 2, Mountain of Torment, Kid Chameleon, Jersey Devil, Final Fantasies, Mega Man Legends, Dragon Quest. Sorry, I was spacing out. Just think about other Sega Genesis games. Croc, Legend of Gobos, Spyro the Dragon. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm giving you way too many things to look at. You're like, I need to just keep it simple. This is where most people just delete a video and restart. Or heck, most people would have written out a script. But this channel is mainly just me rambling about whatever's on my mind. But yeah, the two animes I would strongly suggest for Stefan Gagne to look into. And again, if I'm mispronouncing your name, I'm very sorry. Like I said, the way I'm pronouncing it is not the way I would have guessed that it's supposed to be pronounced, but I looked it up on Google. Like, hey, Google, how do I pronounce this? But yeah, Stefan Gagne. I strongly suggest the anime Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040 and Tenchi Muyo. Particularly the original Tenchi Muyo. Also, Daughter of Darkness is good, but the original Tenchi Muyo OVAs. Since they did a bunch of reboots of that stuff. Aside from that, Dragon Spirit the New Legend and Robo Warrior for the original NES back from 1987, and Brave Fencer Musashi for the original PlayStation. Also Mega Man Legends, and Shining Force EXA for the PS2. Yeah, sorry about getting distracted. I do that a lot. I'm sorry. Let's actually, like I said, I'll at least go through a little bit of this. I'm going to minimize OBS so I can actually see the screen. Now, this is on Stefan's site. He's actually written a whole lot of incredible novels that you can find for free on his site. Now, he probably has some place where you can donate money or something to him or something. I assume, because I'm pretty sure most authors do that stuff. So if he does, please donate or money to him, or if he sells stuff. I don't know if he has merch. I didn't look. But if he does, support him. I guess. I don't know. I'm a terrible. There's a reason I don't do ads or anything like that. I'm just saying this. If he has a way for you guys to give him money, do so, I guess. I mean, I really don't know how that stuff works, but I'm just saying his stuff is available. You just go to his website, and he's written so much, and he's still working on stuff too. And of course, he has a Twitter. I will be typing stuff out with his Twitter and the website. The website's pretty. It shouldn't be that hard for you to find. It's literally just his name. .com. But I'm still going to type it out and put, an actual link version of it too. But anyway, let's read what this has to say. Now 14% more accurate to canon, except when that messes with my storytelling plans. Slayer's Reflect, Slayer's Chaos, and Slayer's Rebirth, a Slayer's trilogy. My first and arguably best work in Slayers to date. What starts as a simple quest to find some long-lost magic eventually steamrolls into a battle for the fate of the world. Digging deep into the backstory of Slayers, which I mostly made up as I went along, so canon twonks need not apply, won a few awards. Also pioneered my preferred writing method. Oh, that reminds me about something absolutely amazing. I was thinking about this in the past, and I still think very strongly of this. Though I have no idea what company, I assume whoever owns Slayers. I want this as an anime. These novels. I want a Slayers Reflect anime. I want a Slayers Chaos anime. I want a Slayers Rebirth anime. I want a Slayers, again, is it Demiurge or Dimerge? Demiurge? And Slayers Virtual. Honestly, if I had to pick one, though, Slayers Virtual. Even if we can't do a full-on series, how about a Slayers Virtual movie? But again, it's a long story. Each of these is extremely long. It's like reading a full-size novel. It takes an extremely long time. But I want these as animes. I remember, like, I was thinking, awesome. I don't know who would do it. Like, again, is it the people that own Slayers? Like, do they partner? Like, who does that? Hold on, I'm getting the book and the. One moment. Okay. Oh. And of course, a lot of companies change names over the years too. So, heck, I think Gillette-Co, the company that made Rogue Warrior, I don't think that company even exists. Gillette-Co is also known as the Japanese leisure company. I think Dragon Spear was made by Bandai Namco. By the way, Dragon Spirit has two versions. The original version that's made for the arcade, and the Dragon Spirit, the new Legend, which is on the NES. But yeah, like here I got Slayers Collector Edition. I'm doing the. Barbie's like, oh, I'm tapping a book. Could I ever actually do, ASMR? Especially with my crappy headset microphone. Or like, hey, we're going to talk about retro games. Here, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, for the person who loves video games and masochism. Because that game was so hard to actually beat on a damn Sega Genesis. Anyway, like here is the Slayers Collector's Edition, Volume 1, by Hajime Kanzaka, illustrations by Rui Araizumi. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce people's names. The J Novel Club. But yeah. And then, of course, I got Slayers season here. Who owns this? What company is responsible for this DVD? Why can I not find it? Use a DVD-ROM with Windows 95 or higher. It doesn't say anywhere. Where? What the? Features included: art gallery, sketch gallery, meet the cast, actors' bios, actors' interviews, graphic novel, sneak peeks, languages, English. Okay. But seriously, what company brought this? Like, is it Toei? Is it Funimation? Who did this? Why does it not say anywhere? Where do I find it? And I got an address for a place in New York that's responsible for its existence. Central Park Media. Software Sculptors. I don't know if these are... I think that's just the people that made the DVD case. Who originally, produced the Slayers animes? Because I'm not seeing anything on this that says anything about that. Anyway, I'm just saying, whoever owns Slayers, the anime, get with Two Flower. I still remember I thought his name was Two Florian. No wonder I couldn't find him at first, but again, I wasn't really looking that hard. I was been busy with other stuff. But Two Flower, Stefan Gagne. I don't know what anime company is responsible for the original creation of the Slayers anime back in like the 90s, or if they still exist. I can't find the name of anything anywhere, so I don't know who did it. You're like, what about Google? I'm not searching Google right now. So you went out there and walked into the hallway and grabbed a book and some DVDs. Yes. Drink some Pepsi. I'm just saying, I want all of these novels that were made by Stefan Gagne, I want them to be anime. I want them to get animated. And I assume Stefan Gagne would get paid a lot of money for it, which he deserves. Because it's awesome stories, which I may or may not ever actually read in a video, because I apparently procrastinated everything, including videos, even while I'm making a video. Part 2, if I ever make a part 2, it'll be me just getting right into the meat of it, starting to read. This is more so me just long rambling introduction. I'm looking down there like the first Ranma half story I wrote. I cringe looking back at it now. But that's just because it's a few newbie authorisms like new characters, fanboy worship. It's about Ryogo, his curse, and finding ways to live it. And then there's more Ranma stuff. That was a good anime as well. Like I said, Gagne. Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, and Tenchi Muyo. Robo Warrior, Dragon Spirit the New Legend, Brave Fencer Musashi. Hell, I'm probably going to actually tweet this stuff to him at some point. He's going to be like, what the fuck's happening? He's just going to see a picture of like, you know, the cases of Brave Fencer Musashi for PlayStation 1 being tweeted at him. And he's like, oh god, Lunar's annoying me. I'm like, sorry, it's what I do. I'm a fan of your work. Play this awesome game. I think you'll love it. Write stories, please. I'm an asshole. I'm just saying, I want to see, particularly the Slayers works that he wrote. I want his Slayers novels to be animated. I want an actual Slayers... Heck, if the Slayers virtual thing became a movie, which again, Gagne, do you think your Slayers virtual could be actually done properly as a movie? Or is there just too much to your story that it can't really be told in a movie? Then again, it's like saying, can you say the entire Slayers season 1 in one movie? But then again, I mean, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit got away with 3-hour-long movies, and people loved that. I'm just saying it'd be really cool to see Slayers Virtual by Stefan Gagne on the big screen in a movie theater, like Movies 10 or something. Then again, I'm still looking forward to, like, apparently Season 5 Overlord is supposed to be a movie. What if it's in 3D? I get to see Albedo in 3D on a big screen. Yes, I have a thing for Albedo. I think she's beautiful, and she is very sexy, and I need cuddles. Okay, aside from just sounding sad and pathetic, even though, let's be clear, Albedo is very pretty. I'm just saying I want these novels that you see here, you know, Slayers Reflex, Slayers Chaos, Slayers Rebirth, Slayers Demiurge, and Slayers Virtual. I want those as actual anime. I want them actually animated. That'd be so awesome. Professional animation teams. I mean, wouldn't that be so much better than most of the new anime we get nowadays? Granted, there's good anime that comes out, but I'm just saying, if these novels were to be animated, they would blow everything else out of the water. Though that does remind me of there's a light novel I was reading recently, about like half a year ago or so. Stefan Gagne, I think you would like this one. It's called Berserk of Gluttony. I think it's got like 8 or 9 volumes out now. It's absolutely amazing. Also, there's a manga. There is a manga called 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. It's a lot like My Dress Up Darling, but better. There's also another manga called Booty Royale, but that's like explicit, rated R. Like, it's about martial arts, and it's like the 6 foot tall girl with like K-cup tits that's a professional martial artist, but there's also very explicit sex scenes. So, also there are also some disturbing things that occur as well. Speaking of stuff you don't really expect to see, there was, what was it called? Shit, what's the name of it? Or, I'm going to have to go over Walking Rabbit. Hold on, I can't remember things. It's over here, isn't it? Right? Come on, I know I put it over here, right? I know, I'm not organized. It's probably in the hallway. I don't feel like going out there again. I think it's called Orc Eroica. O-R-C, Orc Eroica. E-R-O-I-C-A. And I think Eroica usually means like a hero's journey, though it does kind of look like the word erotica. But I'll tell you this. It came in a plastic little saran wrap. What do you call that stuff? Wrapping. And it said like you had to be 18 and older to buy. And I really assumed it was hentai. It was not, actually. I'll tell you this. There's quite a bit of ecchi, a little bit of fan service, but there's no actual nudity and no sex scenes at all. It's actually a really well done story. It's about the quest of there's an orc hero who is traveling the world trying to find a wife. And it's got a lot of humor. It's very funny. It's very well written. And like I said, I went into it expecting hardcore sex. And there was no sex or no nudity at all. But I wasn't disappointed because it was an amazing story and it also had great art. And I'll tell you this, the cover alone makes you think it's going to be hardcore hentai, hardcore sex. But it's not. It's actually extremely wholesome. And it's quite comical and it's engaging. Yes, I forgot what I'm talking about. I don't know why we're talking about that now. I'm drinking some of this Pepsi and probably trying to stay focused. I'm just saying all of these things, especially, what I'm supposed to be reading in this video, I think would be absolutely incredible as animes. So that's my main point I'm trying to get across there, is that these novels here by Stefan Gagne, I want them to be animated. I want them to be full, legitimate animes you can get on Netflix or something. Anyway, so let's actually pay attention. As I write them, so I can collect suggestions and comments as I go. Move the fanfic experience from the dry, finalized Assassin's Creed 2? Is that what it says? ASC and then 2 eyes. Is that Assassin's Creed 2? I do say the best 3 Assassin's Creed games are Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and Assassin's Creed Rogue. Those were the best. I didn't really care for the others. 3 was terrible. But then maybe that's because there wasn't very much parkour. Look, I jumped from a tree to another tree. I'm bored. Breathing website with a small community of readers. Slayer's Demiurge. Expanding the Slayer mythos of gods and monsters, we meet the new generation of heroes and a new threat to the world. Slayer's Virtual, says the man who apparently can't talk. Improv-style cyberpunk Elseworlds of Slayers. Lena the hacker, Zelos the AI, and Gowry the tennis instructor. Okay, let's click on the Reflect Chaos Rebirth part. Over here, warning, I wrote this stuff in 1998 using 1998 level web browser standards and 1998 level writing talent. Buddy, if you have improved at all, from what I remember, then you are probably one of the greatest writers in this entire planet. Because I'll tell you this, I remember reading this stuff, I think, 2008 or something? And I was completely blown away by what I read. And it was incredible. And apparently you wrote this stuff in 1998? So by then it was already a decade old? I'll tell you this. I was blown away. If you feel like what you had back then wasn't, your current level, then I have no idea what you're writing now, but it makes me want even more so for you to write a fan fiction about Brave Fencer Musashi. But of course, play the game first. They also made a spiritual reboot called Samurai Legend Musashi for the PS2. It was an okay game in its own right, but it was absolute garbage compared to Brave Fencer Musashi. I am going to send you pictures of Brave Fencer Musashi. It's an awesome game, okay? I really enjoy it. I think you would like it too. Plus, the art is just awesome. Anyway, but yeah, I'm just saying. Like, warning, I wrote the stuff using 1998 level writing talent. Buddy, that was amazing. I was completely blown away by how incredible the story was. Everything was awesome. And I assume maybe you probably edited a few things since then. I mean, it's been like hundreds of years ago. Yes, I'm being dramatic about that, but I'm just saying it feels like it's been an extremely long time. And I've written considerably better things. By this point, you literally wrote that, you literally said, by this point, I've written considerably better things. I'm sure you probably have. And maybe it's just the fact that I really like the Slayers anime myself. Also, Naga, don't get me wrong, Lena's really pretty too. So is Amelia. But we all know why I think about Naga. I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this video agree. Well, if you've seen her. Yes, she shows a lot of skin and she has very big boobs. And a nice ass. I'm trying not to space out thinking about inappropriate things. Just saying. Heck, and to a degree, I feel like if I was to describe my personality, I describe my personality mostly in Dragon Ball Z Fusions. Though if I had to pick one single solitary character to describe myself, I am the male version of Mikon from Danganronpa 2. But, if I were to use fusions, my personality is the Dragon Ball Z fusion of Astolfo and Jack Hanma. I'm also the fusion of Krona from Soul Eater and Vash the Stampede from Trigun. I'm also the fusion of Testament from Guilty Gear Strive and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. I'm also the fusion of Goku from Dragon Ball Z and Tsukasa from Dot Hack Sign. I'm also the fusion of Nagisa from Assassination Classroom and Stein from Soul Eater. I'm also the fusion of Ernest P. Worrell, as done by Jim Varney, combined with Chip the Cable Guy, as done by Jim Carrey. Though if you had to describe my physical appearance, I look like someone used a Dragon Ball Z fusion of Jack Nicholson and Tim Curry, and then turned me into a Fallout zombie. Exposed me to lethal radiation for hundreds of years, and somehow I refused to die. So yeah, just imagine a Fallout zombie version of the combination of Tim Curry and Jack Nicholson. That's what I actually look like. Which, if it wasn't for the whole Fallout zombie part, probably wouldn't look bad. I don't know. Somebody use an AI to combine all these characters to see how they look together. Anyway, main reason I bring that up is this. I do feel personality-wise. Another description of my personality is the Dragon Ball Z fusion of Zelos, Metallium, from the Slayers anime, and Shinji Ikari from Evangelion. That's another accurate description of my personality. Is if you combine Zelos Metallium and Shinji Ikari with the Patara earrings from Dragon Ball Z. But anyway, yeah, you see all this, and he's like, oh, but if you're up for nostalgia and don't mind a few bumps in the road, read on. Slayer's fanfiction by Stefan Gagne sent comments, critiques, and death threats to me at... Please don't send death threats to Stefan. He doesn't deserve that. Send him, like... How about this? Everyone, send him pictures... Granted, I say everyone, but I don't think anyone's ever actually going to watch this video. Not even Stefan himself. Be nice if he did, but again, it's like at that point, I feel like I'm just punishing him. Like, yes, now you must listen to the tone-deaf, annoying person talk about how he likes your books and wants them to be an anime. And also how Brave Fensu Musashi's a great game. If you're a regular reader of this series, drop me a line. Authors always like to know their stuff is being, read or something. I'll tell you this, it's amazing. Your work, Stefan, your work is awesome. I haven't read the rest of it, though. But I read the Slayer stuff back in, 2008. It was incredible. Granted, I was also reading, Lemons, the erotic hentai fan fictions as well. Also, I read, parts of, a thing called Shinji and Warhammer 40k. Okay. I've at least described my reading habits. But anyway, this is a Slayer's trilogy that's based off the original trilogy. All of it's amazing. I remember it being incredible. Let's see, general information, long-winded author's introduction. Can I click on anything here? This is cool. I like this. Long-winded author's introduction, everything you need to know about Lane and her cohorts, a word about accuracy, the Slayer's working interpretation Reflect uses, reflecting on Reflect, an essay, spoilers, the Slayer's Chaos #7A mini contest. Okay. Then we have Slayer's Reflect, which is chapters 1 through 10. And don't make this little list make you think that it's not long. This is 1,000 full-on novel pages. Just this alone. This man wrote full-on novels that make most of the stuff in a modern library be put to shame. It takes forever to read this, but it's absolutely worth it. But as somebody that tends to work 50 or 60 hours a week in a factory, I don't think I have time. But it's, long haul. I'm just saying if I ever sit down and read this stuff, even if I actually focus on it, it's going to take me a good year. And even then, I'm part of me's oh, maybe I could do voice acting. But I'm I know I'm awful at that. But yeah, Slayer's Reflect. Chapter 1, Lena Through the Looking Gas. 2, Good Clue Hunting. 0, A Side Story, Balance of the Lores. 3, Leaving Los Saloon, or at least trying to. 4, Midnight in the Hideout of Goon and Evil. Then we have the side story. Oh yeah, I think it's the half dragon, half Mazuko sort of situation. I'm not going to spoil everything for you. I'm just saying. I think I remember some pictures of the dragon who. Now it's just me giving a long list of what anime characters, particularly ones that Gagne has invented, that I've thought sexual thoughts about. Yes, I may or may not have done inappropriate things while thinking about characters that you invented in a fanfiction back in 2008, even though you wrote it in 1998. Let's see, Fear and Loathing of Evilania, Surf Chimeras Must Die, Raiders of the Lost... Oh, I remember that, Gary did a thing with a librarian, and it was hilarious. Oh, the thing with the Giga Slave, Giga Restoration. The whole thing with Giga Restoration and the inverted Lena Inverse, that was amazing. Though the Giga Restoration was a little dark with the way she did with the dagger. Plus, of course, there's the Giga Gate and Giga Stream. I remember that much. Tomorrow Never Lies and Through the Reflection Darkly. Yeah, where she started seeing the butterfly wings. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? You have to read the story. Aren't you supposed to read the story? Maybe in part 2. And like I said, honestly, you guys are better off reading this yourself. And even before you read this, you guys should read the original light novels and watch the original animes. They're amazing. There's even movies. It's incredible. I should probably put a comment that's just a link to a movie. And everyone's like, is it going to have Naga in it? I'm like, yes. Yes, it is. Like, why do you sound overly enthusiastic about that, Lunar? Just going to pretend I'm not blushing, and we're going to ignore that. Slayer's Chaos, in which... Okay, that's actually incredibly hard to read this. Anyway, that's the one with the finding the original humans. Then we have Rebirth, which is the thing with order and, you know, freeing God and stuff. But I don't remember like how it has to have all this. Like I forget. Like, all I know is Order shows up, locks up the Lord of Nightmares, and Lena has to save her. I don't remember how that became a long story. Oh, right! I forgot. A lot of stuff is like time skips back and forth to where like here's where the story starts. Then here's this, and then then you go all the way back, all up to here, and then you have a time go back, and then go back to here, then go back, and then it. I'm glad you left a chart here. Otherwise, I would never be able to understand what the hell is happening. Improfanic, new author of the week, Spoof Chase Productions, Stefan Gagne's mnemonic homepage. And let's just click on one of these things real quick so you guys get the idea. Oh, that's bright. I know some of these are like green backgrounds and stuff. And of course, when I actually do read these, I might have to adjust things. I don't know. Like, you're better off actually reading it yourself. But, like, Slayer's Reflecting, it's an amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Where is the... It's like very slow epilepsy. The gallery's in a little cow thing. That's adorable. Then again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy every one of these pictures. Zelos. I think that's a picture from Season 3. Cool. And Justice for Almost All. Pacifist Punch. Here's a picture of Naga, but she's like wearing... Their outfits are swapped. I forget what... I think that was in one of the movies that they did that. Okay, you guys can actually see Naga, but of course she's in her... You can see part of Lena. I'll tell you this. I think Naga and Lena are both incredibly sexy. But then again, I'm the kind of person I think someone of Milam Nova's height or Demetrescu's height. Basically, I would date a 4-foot tall girl and I would date a 9-foot tall girl. Granted, it might be a little awkward if I need to get a step stool, but to be able to... But then again, at this point, if I'm dating a 9-foot tall woman, she can pick me up. Whereas if I'm dating a 4-foot tall woman, I can pick them up. Just saying, well, even heights is more convenient. Honestly, if like we lived in a world of like, oh, there's Nekos and all the other kinds of combinations of people. It's like, oh, who's this? Oh, it's a 20-foot tall elf girl. It's like, okay. The world's slowest epilepsy ever. Where is the... Huh. Something's odd. I remember there being a... Because I'm pretty sure the other Lena from the other side of the mirror is in this. And I remember... Right. Because here's what happens. You scroll down, and it keeps going. Click to continue. Everyone's like, you're going too fast. Like, I'm not reading it right now. And you guys can see what I mean by the backgrounds. But I remember there being one with the inverted Lena, where the background's all green, and like there's stuff that's supposed to look like poison and stuff. It makes sense if you know the story. Slayer's Die Merge. And here's the difference. Different books, and you got art. Didn't the other one have that too? Like, click. Isn't there a thing here that says all the... Yeah, down here, where you can pick up all the different art. Lena Inversed. Oh, this is fan art! Oh, that's so cool! She's got a gun, though. Pretty good art by you. But I remember like one of the backgrounds was Sailor Justice. All right. That was funny. Oh, Angela! That's the name of the dragon girl. Though I think... I'm just saying. Okay. Just so we're all clear. I am not looking respectfully. Not at all. I'm looking very lustfully. That's so cool. And Slayer's Virtual. Oh, this looks... I forgot about this. Looks so... And of course you got all this. Oh, you got different authors. So we had different people working with this? Well, that's really cool. I remember that... Heck, I might start with Slayer's Virtual just because it is a sort of retelling of Season 1 of the actual anime. So I don't think you need as much context from the original anime to get it, whereas the others, and Demiurge is a continuation of Season 3, and the whole other trilogy is an enormously long thing that is a continuation off of, the original series. Whereas this is a sort of reboot retelling of the original Season 1, which I don't think Naga... No, I think Naga's included in this version of it too. Because like Gagne said, Stefan took some creative license from time to time to be able to move things around for a good story. And also, I think he did an amazing job. It's absolutely incredible. Though, from the looks of this, it looks like Chapter 1 was just done by Two Flower himself, and the others, I guess, were other people. So, Two Flower only did Part 1. Am I right? My thanks to all the authors and all the readers. Well, that's interesting. And it was sort of an improvisation fanfic. So it was like a challenge to work off of each other's work. And also, and here's the cool thing. I remember really enjoying this one too. But I think the idea here is that we're getting to see how different writing styles exist. And of course, it says the names of all these people here. Everyone's like, are you going to say them? I'm like, I don't know if the authors want me to mispronounce their names. Plus, it seems like they're going by pseudonyms. So, Stefan Gagne is Two Flower. Whereas the rest of the people, there's Todd Harper, a BSD, Matthew Harrison, Ravi Duveri, Damian Rock, Brian Fire, Chris Nichols, Dylan Cooper, Matthew Harrison II. I know, it's just him again. Aaron Ziegler, Ian Crawford, BSD2, and then Adrian Times did the ending of everything. So he did all 3 books. Neat. Let's click on the part for 2. Oh, these are links to the... Oh, I think they're actually links to these people. Chapter... Oh my god, that's so painful. It's old style HTML, I think. Is that what this is called? Can you guys see that very well in this? You guys can see most of it. You got it's almost like I forgot that this era existed when words were like this. I'll say this: I really do enjoy the This picture is really cool. But yeah, we'll go and end the video here. It's been an hour of me basically not reading. But just sort of an introduction, I guess. I don't know. I am really on the fence about if I should start with Virtual or if I should start with the Slayers trilogy. All I can say is the big thing is I strongly suggest watching the original Slayers animes. Granted, it's like well over 100 episodes, but still. And several movies. I'll put a link to one of the movies, okay? I mean, asking you guys to watch 60 minutes of an incredible anime all set as a singular movie. Plus, it's got Naga in it. I mean, I'm like, hey, there's two beautiful... Like, the whole story is about Lena and Naga, two very beautiful women. Because I'll tell you this. Both Lena and Naga are incredibly beautiful. And heck, I would say if I had either one of them as my girlfriend, I'd be like, oh, I have the prettiest girl in the whole world as a girlfriend. I'm just saying, Lena is very beautiful. Naga is very beautiful. But yeah, like I said, personality-wise, my personality can be best be described as the Dragon Ball Z Guitar Earring fusion of Zelos Metallium from the Slayers anime and Shinji Ikari from Evangelion. But yeah, but I'll have links in the description and in the comments. Go check out Stefan Gagne's actual website and let me know in the comments. Should I start by reading Virtual or by reading Reflection? Don't be wrong, Demiurge is a good story too, but I like these ones better. But Demiurge is a good story too, but it would be the last one I'd get to. If I were to ever look up those erotic fanfictions, am I allowed to read those on YouTube? I think so. I mean, there's plenty of erotic ASMR out there. So it's probably okay. Maybe? I don't know. Not that I'd be going through all this first, and this is like incredibly long novels. But yeah, let me know in the comments below like what animes you would suggest to me, or what video games. But also, if I do read it, I mean, where would you want me to start? Because like if I go to Reflect, I'm just going to be like starting here, Lena through Looking Glass, and it'd be like, Slayers, Reflect, Chapter 1, Lena through the Looking Glass. Somewhere beneath the shining sun, somewhere in the green and fertile lands of the world, somewhere in the city/state of Sialoon, somewhere on the grounds of the Happy Travelers Mega Inn and Conference Center, something exploded. Alright, I almost forgot. Lena has like the same personality as Megaman, except maybe a little bit more of a violent temper. I don't know. She is also energetic and likes to eat. That's also true of Megaman. A lot of anime girls. I'm just saying, Lena Inverse and Naga are both very beautiful. And again, Stefan Gagne, Two Flower, I suggest the animes Bubblegum Crisis, Tokyo 2040, and Tenchi Muyo. And perhaps most of all, just thank you for being an absolutely amazing writer. Well, I guess in part 2 I'm going to read something, whether it's Reflect or Virtual. And I don't even know when I'll ever make a part 2 or if I'll ever make a part 2. But at least when I do a part 2, I'll try to stay focused and just read the story, and I'll try not to go off on tangents or do commentary. I'll try to just read the story. Though if anyone really just wants to read the story, you're better off reading it yourself, because that would probably just be more enjoyable for you. But either way, whoever listens to this video, thank you, and I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you have all the hugs and head pats you could ever want, and everyone out there feels loved and appreciated. Bye, everyone.